Welcome to Chris's Storytelling Corner. My name is Christopher Moldong, and I am an author specializing in the fantasy genre. Today, I will do manga reviews for Negima volumes 13 to 16. Next week, I will review volumes 17 to 20. Also, check out my reading of Shattered Glass, pages 1 to 4. You can check out my author's website at www.chrismoldon.com. If you have an e-reader, you can buy my works on Amazon.com or a digital copy on my website, starting with my first novel, a fantasy adventure called The Mustard Prince in the Condiment Kingdom, for $4.99. Also, for $1.99, you can buy my short stories and short story collection, starting with the gothic horror short story, The Land of the Wooden Statues. Then there's the horror collection, which is a compilation of 3 of my gothic horror short stories, and the fantasy fable collection, which is a compilation of 4 of my fantasy fable short stories. Check out my Twitter page and author's Facebook page. Links to all these will be provided on the description. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you're on YouTube, or follow this channel if you're listening to this on SoundCloud or Podbean. So the way that this works is that I will do a pretty detailed recap of each volume, and after each volume I'll give my own personal thoughts of what I think of said volume. So, volume 13. At the beginning of the volume, Chisame finds that all the fires she put out online are back on. Chow discovers and reveals that Kunel's real name is Albero Ima, and that he is on par magically with Evangeline, who is also friends with Nagi. Kunel tells Negi that there might be a reward if he makes it to the finals, and whispers something to him. Negi seems to recognize the voice. On the rooftop, one of the sisters, one of the nuns actually, has tickets, and Mana allows her and one other through, while Mana fights the other sister. Evangeline tells Asuna and Setsuna to watch out for Chao Lingshan. So this nun that was allowed through by Mana and her companion jumped down from the roof in front of Asuna. She has a patio card in her hand, and Asuna recognized her as one of her classmates, Misora Kasuga. Misora's companion Kokone reveals that their mission is to access the underground layer without Chao noticing, contact Takahata Sensei, or rescue him if possible. Kunal versus Kaede is the next fight. So that's announced. Negi recognizes the voice from earlier as his father's voice. So, as Kunal and Kaede fight, Kaede deducts that Kunal's body is not original. Kunal reveals that his real body is 3 or 4 kilometers away, and that the spell he is using only works on Mahora grounds, and only during the 3 days of the World Tree being in full force during the Mahora Festival. So Misora, Kokone, Mei, Takane, and Asuna decide to go rescue Takahata. Back with the fight, Kaede dodges Kunal's gravity magic, and Kunal reveals that he has a Pactio card. After another strong attack that does not defeat Kaede, Kaede then concedes defeat as time is running out. So one of the teachers, Gandolfini Sensei, and another teacher are seen online of the viral marketing to get magic out there. Back underground, a bunch of Tanaka robots attack Asuna, Takane, Mei, Misora, and Kokone. Asuna is able to use Kankaho, which is the same ability that Takahata Sensei is able to use. Misora uses her artifact, which are high-speed shoes, to retreat with Kokone. Chachimaru talks to Chisame about what is happening. Chachimaru tells her that if she supports Negi, then she will have to oppose her. Negi then fights Setsuna. Setsuna gets the better of him easily as he doesn't seem focused. and Negi seems to be thinking about his father during the fight. Online, an article comes out that says that Negi is looking for his father. Haruna, Paru as they call her, but Haruna sees the article and catches on that her friends are keeping secrets and that they'll all talk after the tournament. Another article says that Kunel is Negi's father. So, during the fight with their final strike, Setsuna cuts Negi's cheek while Negi hits her in the body and defeats Setsuna. Elsewhere, Kunel heals Kufei's arm. Back underground, Misora and Kakone fight against a mid-level robot. So not those Tanaka ones, but like this bigger one. Uh, so back with Chow, she tells Akase to leave soon while she stays. Deeper underground, Misora and Kakone find a door with a bunch of Tanaka and mid-level robots behind it. So they're in the tournament finals. Negi fights against Kunel. Evangeline runs to the tournament grounds. Kunel immediately uses his Pacto card. He actually becomes Takamichi's Master Gato and attacks Negi. Kunel reveals that his artifact makes him able to mimic external appearances as well as emulate physical abilities. Also, that person's personality, memory, and emotions are recorded, and he's able to replay them with perfect fidelity. The replay only lasts for 10 minutes. Let's see. Kunel reveals that 10 years ago, a friend asked to make a promise that if something were to happen, a few words might be left for a son never seen. Negi asks if Kunel was the one that saved him 6 years ago, and Kunel says that he is not. Kunel then becomes Nagi, Negi's father. Negi fights against his father, but loses, so Kunel wins the tournament. Underground, Asuna and the rest of the group are losing to the robots. Takahata Sensei comes to the rescue. Satsuki seemingly rescued him and many Setsuna. On the roof, Mana tells Sister Shakti that her job is over since the tournament is finished, and she retreats. So, as Nagi, he tells Negi that he figures that he's dead, but Negi tells him that he saved him 6 years ago. Evangeline makes it in time, and Nagi pats her head. Nagi then turns back into Kunel. At the ending award ceremony, Chow congratulates everyone, but doesn't reveal if anything was real or not, but tells the audience to leave it to their imagination. At the end of the volume, in an outside hallway, the teachers surround Chow and try to apprehend her. However, she has a Cassiopeia, tells them, "See you again on the third day," before vanishing. So some thoughts on Volume 13. We got the conclusion of the Mahora Budokai tournament, and that had like the right payoff of Negi fighting a version of his father Nagi. It's pretty emotional in a sense, like, because Negi is always chasing after his father, and he gets pretty much a almost full version of him, like, right before him. Obviously, Nagi is extremely powerful. He seems to have defeated Negi quite easily. So it was, you got like the payoff. It would have been interesting to have seen Negi just fight Kunal, who has gravity magic, but this was like more of a surprise. Kaede versus Kunal was a good fight. Kunal seemed like he would win though. He has a gravity magic. His real body isn't even there. If there's no time limit, he would have won. But Kaede was always there. She just wasn't able to really inflict any damage on Kunal. And, she was still there after he used some of his strongest techniques on her. So it goes to show how strong Kaede is. Negi versus Setsuna was a good fight, but I just can't help but feel that, like, Setsuna should have won, in a sense. Like, with Takahate, too, it almost seems like they're going a bit easy on Negi, or, like, something is off. Where it's like, I don't know if Negi should have won that fight. Just from a technical level, she just seems superior at this point in time. I like the Misora character. She's real funny. her real like reluctance to just want to do anything is kind of funny. She tries to act act a fool. She wants to be this be referred to as the mysterious sister. It's pretty funny as well. She kind of reminds me of Chisame in a way of just like she is like reluctantly involved with what Negi is doing, even though she clearly doesn't want to. Like, doesn't seem to want to do anything actually. Um, and finally, Chow's plans as to why she's doing what she's doing is still very unclear. Everything though right now seems to be going according to her plans. That's still in the back burner. Chow, obviously, she vanished at the end of the volume. I mean, this volume, it pretty much had to do with Negi just getting to the finals and fighting his father. I mean, that was like the big thing. But lurking in the shadows is this whole thing with Chow Lingshan. We don't get an I Once again, as we get closer to the climax of this arc, we're getting more and more of an idea of what she's doing. We're just kind of unclear of why. So, in Volume 14, the volume begins with Negi flying around. He meets with Kuna, who asks to heal him. Negi does not want to get healed, and he wants to keep all like the scars and cuts that he's had. Um, Negi meets Chachimaru for a tea ceremony, and many of his students suddenly just crowd him. They ask if the story about his father is true, and he tells them that it is. They have the tea ceremony. Ayaka asks Negi if she can help her find his father. He agrees. Then the press chase after Negi, but the class, Chachimaru and Chisame help him out. Chachimaru, Chisame, and Negi then kind of just like they escape together and they kind of just hang out. Chisame asks Chachimaru if she's a robot, and Chachimaru confirms that she is. Negi then comes along and Chisame deduces that he's a wizard. Then the press keeps chasing after Negi and they run away to a Ferris wheel. Chachimaru tells Chisame how many of the class knows about Negi being a wizard, how many of them have probationary contracts with Negi, and how the probationary contracts are made. The press then chases them to the Ferris wheel, but Negi takes that candy that makes him older, so they escape. Chisame takes one of the candies also and becomes small. Later, we see an older Negi who calls himself Nagi, and an older Kotaro go to a concert to watch the band of Ako, Kakizaki, Sakurako, and Kugimiya. Backstage, an older Negi gives Ako flowers and walks outside with her. He almost, she almost seemingly admits his love to her, or he actually, yeah, Nagi almost seemingly admits his love to her, but it turned out to be a dream from Ako. We're formally introduced to Ako, who has a crush on the older Negi. She freaks out over Nagi coming to the concert, also told that Ako has a scar on her back. So Nagi and older Kotaro and a small Chisame walk in on Ako while she is undressed. In a short flashback, we see Kotaro run into Negi, Chachimaru, and a small Chisame. The press is chasing after Kotaro, and they all run away. So Kotaro eats a candy to become older. Chisame decides to stay small, and Chachimaru wears a bunny outfit. We go back to the scene where they walk in on Ako undressed, and she runs away. She then falls face first onto the ground with the concert close to starting. She sees a reflection in the water of a fountain, sees that her head is bleeding, and then faints. When she wakes up, she sees a clock and sees that she missed the concert. Nagi finds her, tells her to close her eyes, and takes her back in time. Ako wakes up at a table the afternoon before the concert, thinking that she just dreamed everything. Nagi comes by and takes her out on a date. Chisame, Chachimaru, and Kotaro also went back in time with them. They're kind of spying on them also. So they're alone in one of the school buildings. Ako almost confesses her love to Nagi. They all go to a bridge, and they all run into versions of themselves. They then go to the backstage area of the concert, and Kotaro explains that it was all a joke. So their band performs. The band's name is Decopin Rocket. At the end of the performance, Akko gets on the mic and asks for Nagi's email address. So in the next chapter, we see that Haruna knows the existence of magic, most likely told to her by Nodoka, Yue, and Kanoka. The three show Haruna their powers and abilities. They also tell her about the probationary contracts. So Negi, back to his own ways, walks in on them. They're on Library Island, and Haruna kisses him, but there's no contract. Chamo then comes out, reveals that he can talks to Haruna, tells her about how to make a probationary contract. He suggests that Negi make one with Yue as well. So Nodoka and Negi walk together to the northern book cliff with Haruna, Yue, and Kanoka following behind. Haruna figures out that Yue is in love with Negi, and Nodoka overhears them. Yue runs away with Haruna, Kanoka, and Nodoka chasing after her, and Yue runs into Negi. Then Yue, Nodoka, and Negi walk together uncomfortably as Haruna and Kanoka follow behind. So they're next to a vending machine. Nodoka whispers to Yue that she overheard her conversation with Haruna and knows that she's in love with Negi. Yue runs away through different obstacles on Library Island using a grappling hook. She repels herself down a ledge hoping to disappear. Nodoka at the same time uses her artifact to find out kind of where she is and what she's thinking and runs after her. Yue seemingly falls down into water. In a flashback, we see Yue, who appears to be a loner, become friends with Nodoka and the rest of the group, like Haruna and Kanoka. So at the bottom, Nodoka, still using her artifact, finds Yue. Yue admits to her that she also loves Negi. Nodoka then slaps her and then hugs her. They agree to stay friends while they both pursue Negi. Haruna catches up to them. So they're on a balcony. Haruna forces Yue to make a probationary contract with Negi, and they make one. Haruna then wants to make a probationary contract with Negi, and it's implied that they make one. They don't actually show them making one, though. So, in that next chapter, Asuna, Misora, Sister Shakti, and Kokone are underground and open a large door. Misora told them that she saw robots down there, but they don't see anything. It's just empty. So Mei, Takane, and Takahate Sensei meet up with them. Takahata Sensei asks Asuna to go around the festival with him just within an hour. Mei and Takane reveal that Takahata, along with Nagi and his group, are just really famous in the magical world. So, at the end of the volume, sitting alone on a bench, dressed up, Asuna meets up with Takahata Sensei to go on a date around the festival. So, thoughts on volume 14. We got the love triangle between Nodoka, Yue, and Negi. It got interesting. I don't really know how pertinent it is to the main story. I don't get the feeling that it's really going to hurt Yue and Nodoka's friendship at all. I still have a hard time seeing Negi get together with any one of the girls. So it's just one of those things that just seems to kind of be there. I don't really know if it's actually gonna go anywhere or if it's actually gonna do anything. We'll see. Maybe it causes separation between Yue and Nodoka. Maybe it doesn't. I just don't know. So Akko has a crush on older Negi, and she doesn't know that he's actually just 10-year-old Negi in disguise. This is probably just going to be a really one-sided relationship and love interest here. I would think that Akko will eventually find out the truth that, Nagi is just Negi in disguise. Haruna is now in on the group. She's a part of everything now. This was kind of one of those, oh, it's about time. Because, all her friends are in on it. Yui, Nodoka, Kanoka, they're all in on it. It was, just a matter of time until she was in on it. And Haruna's into, she's what, a manga author or something like that? that. So she's into the fancy stuff. She just kind of fits right in with everything. Chisame still is like that reluctant follower. She does not want to be a part of this whole magical nonsense, but she is, and she just kind of reluctantly goes with it and helps Negi. It's unclear if she's like truly in love with Negi, but she definitely seems compelled to want to help him. She also seems to have an odd friendship with Chachamaru. Um, Not too surprising, I guess. She's into like the internet and whatnot. Chachamaru's a robot. So the date between Takahata Sensei and Asuna is finally happening. It's been a storyline that's been stuck in the manga and going nowhere for a while, really. And Misora and Kokone didn't find any robots. Like, where are they? Where did they go? What is Chow going to do with these robots? They're just a whole bunch of robots that are just kind of sitting there. Obviously, they're going to do something with them, right? Like, I guess we'll see. So we're gonna go to volume 15. This is a long volume. It is there. A lot happens in this volume, so let's get to it. Okay, the volume starts with Asuna and Takahata Sensei starting their date with Negi. While or starting their date, excuse me. While Negi, Mei, Takane, Konoka, Misora, and Kokone watch it secretly. During their date, strange things just happen, like these animals from the zoo run on, are on a rampage. Fights happen. Uh, Columns collapse and whatnot. So, in order to save some people, Takahata Sensei sees Asuna using Kankaho. At a bridge, Takahata Sensei tells Asuna that part of him wants her to know everything, but another part wants to see her grow up as a happy, ordinary teenage girl. In a flashback, a young Takahata and a young Asuna are in the snow. He tells her that they are going to Japan, and after she forgets everything, she'll live there happily. He also calls her princess. After watching a parade, Takahata Sensei steps out, and Ayaka runs into Asuna. They tussle, but Asuna tells her that she's going to confess her feelings to him. So Ayaka, Kaede, and Setsuno follow Asuna. So they're on top of this castle overlooking a view, and Asuna confesses her love to Takahata Sensei. He rejects her, and Asuna jumps down from the castle and lands in front of Negi and Kanoka. Asuna then runs away. Back at the top of the castle, Al meets up with Takamichi. Takamichi says that he has no right to be loved. Ayaka finds Asuna and comforts her. So in the next chapter, we see Chow going back in time right before the teachers can apprehend her. Chow runs into Kufei, and Chow thanks her for being her friend. Chow then tells her something. Negi tries to look for Asuna, and Setsuno tells him that she's at Evangeline's resort. He then wants to talk to Takamichi to reconsider, but they tell him that he needs to leave it alone. Back at the top of the castle, Al tells Takamichi that he's been recuperating for the last decade and comes out when the world tree is brimming with magic on the days of the festival. Takamichi asks Al if he, assuming it's Nagi, is alive and his whereabouts. Al tells him that he believes that he's alive but doesn't know where he is. Negi and company run into a depressed Kufei, who tells him that Chow is leaving the school after the end of the festival tomorrow. Then Kufei gives Negi Chow's withdrawal notice. Chow told Kufei that she has to go back home and that she doesn't plan on saying goodbye to the rest of the class. Negi gets a call about a meeting and Chow is involved. Negi then runs off. Chow then says goodbye to her teachers, her fellow club members, Hakase and Chochimaru. Eventually flies on a broom to Chow and tells her that she'll stay out of Chow's plans while she just observes. Eventually even tells Chow that she'll loan her Chochimaru. Chow receives a text message from Negi to talk privately at a secret location. Ayaka, Setsuno, Fumika, and Fuka talk to each other about Chow. Ayaka asks about the party that they're planning for Class 3A. Negi and Chao meet up. She reveals them that she does indeed plan to reveal the existence of mages to the general public. They then debate about good and evil. As they speak, Chao suddenly appears behind Negi. Chao tells Negi that if he beats her in combat, then she will reveal the reasons for what she's doing and will stop doing bad things. If Negi loses, Negi has to join her. Negi uses a capture spell on Chao, but she just appears behind him unscathed. Chao punches Negi and he goes flying. Chao approaches Negi on the ground to try and make him nap for a bit, just knock him out. But Setsuna and Kaede get between them and protect him. So Kaede and Setsuna fight against Chao, but she keeps suddenly appearing behind them when they get any type of offense going. Negi says that it's not Shido or Shikuchi that Chao is using. So Negi, Kaede, and Setsuna retreat to a rooftop. Chao catches up to them and senses the presence of other people. Chao brings reinforcements, and they are Mana and Chachamaru. Seeing his students potentially fighting each other, Negi says that he'll admit defeat and that he'll join Chao's cause if they'll stop fighting. Chao says she can't stop. Kaede pulls some boards out around him, and it turns out that the whole Class 3A are there to throw Chao a farewell party. They all give her gifts, and then they challenge her to make her cry. Kufei gives Chao a sword given to her by her master. Chao tells the class that she's a Martian, she's a descendant of Negi's, and she's come from the future. Once a majority of the class is asleep, Chao tells Negi that she's there to change history. She tells him that she won't make any moves during the day, and she retreats. So back at Evangeline's resort, Asuna is moping in bed. Negi, Chisame, Haruno, Kaede, Kufei, Setsuna, Nadoka, Yue, and Kanoka visit Asuna. Asuna questions why Chisame and Haruno are there, and Negi tells her that they found out about magic. Negi wants to have a meeting about how they can handle Chao, and he shows them the time machine that he got from her. Then Haruno and Yue show off their artifacts. Everyone there agrees to help Negi except for Chisame, who gets coerced to helping. They become something of a group. Evangeline, though, tells Negi that she won't help him. Haruno tests her artifact, which is a sketchbook and feather pen. Whatever is drawn on the sketchbook becomes real, like a golem. Yue gets a textbook of novice-level spells. So Evangeline tells Negi that he doesn't have to go on a date with her on the last day of the festival. Negi wakes up at night and sees Evangeline bathing in a pool. Negi gets tossed into the pool that Evangeline is in. Evangeline makes herself look older, and they have a dinner date, and they talk about Chao's intentions. Evangeline then becomes her normal size and goes to the beach with Negi. They then fight. Evangeline gets on top of Negi as they talk about good and evil while fighting. Evangeline then kisses Negi. The next day, they all decide to help Negi to fight Chao. As they leave the resort, the Cassiopeia activates. A video message on the resort says, "I win." Negi flies to the festival to watch Natsumi's play. When he lands, there seems to be no festival going on. He runs into Natsumi, and she tells him that she knows that he is a wizard. The crowd around them whispers and seems to know about magic. Back in the classroom, everyone seems to know that Negi is a wizard who can do magic. In the hallway, Akira tells Negi that it has been a week since the festival. Negi then runs off. Gandolfini Sensei finds Negi. He tells Negi that it is partly his fault that Chao's plan happened and worked, and that he'll be turned into an ermine as punishment. Negi is unlocked away somewhere. The rest of Negi's group finds out that it's been a week since the festival. They surmise that Chao's plan has succeeded, and they decide to head back into Evangeline's resort. In a secluded room, Takahata Sensei, Gandolfini, and another teacher interrogate Negi. They read his report, and Gandolfini does not believe in the part about time travel. Back at Evangeline's cabin, the group listens to Chao's video message. She tells them that she planted a time delay trap on the Cassiopeia ahead of time. If Negi joined her cause, then she would have removed it. Back with Negi, Gandolfini reveals that Chow used the magic of the World Tree to cast a forced recognition spell on the entire world. Chow targeted 6 pools of concentrated magic around the World Tree and the same places they guarded to prevent love confessions. Hordes of armed robots took over those places. So the forced recognition spell lowers the mental block from people accepting the existence of mages and magic. Chow then used the internet to spread information about magic and mages. Negi's told that within 6 months the whole world will consider the existence of mages as a mundane fact. Chamo, uh, Chamo comes to the cabin and tells everyone that Negi has been locked up and that he'll be turned into an ermine. Chamo also brought the Cassiopeia with him, but tells them it doesn't work because the World Tree isn't brimming with magic like it is during the festival. At the end of the volume, 2 teachers, one of them being someone Setsuna recognizes as Toko-san, appear in front of the cabin. The group get ready to fight. So, volume 15. Wow, did a lot happen in this volume. So, um, we're really not just in the middle of the plan of Chow's plan. The plan worked. You know, Chow has revealed the existence of mages to the greater public using a forced recognition spell. Negi gets detained, and the world now knows about mages and magic without Chow even having to fight Negi. It was ingenious. I mean, really, you know, there, no one can stop. No one can stop her. Um, she won. you know, uh, I mean, we can assume that Negi will be able to counterattack, but as of right now, her plan worked. She, in this plane, time plane, Chow's plan works, and people know about magic now. Chow isn't really evil, nor is her plan anything truly evil. It's not like she's using this force recognition spell to rule the world or something. And if anything, like she's not even there anymore. I think she just went back to the future, So it's kind of like, okay, like she did her thing. It's not like people are killing each other or anything. Um, so she's not evil. What she's doing, it's not evil. It's like I guess there's a philosophical argument of whether it is or not that they try to get into. She also seems to authentically love her class and the time she spent with them too. There's this whole good versus evil argument that came up. Negi's conflicted. He's only 10 years old. Negi feels that he's doing good while Chow is doing evil. Then we're asked as a reader what's so evil and wrong about magic and mazes being exposed to the world at large. They explain, hey, look, if you know the existence of magic and wizards and all that, then it's like, okay, like, oh, you have the healing mage here. Now you can, instead of secretly healing someone that might need healing, it's like, oh, okay, it's apparent. Oh, this guy can fly. Hey, you know, let's save these kids from a burning building. Like they can openly do things. Um, now that the existence of magic is a regular thing in the world. Um, so you're kind of like it kind of challenges the reader as to like, hey, what's right and what's wrong, and what's so evil about like what Chow's doing, really. Negi then, he forms this team. It's pretty much like an RPG. If you ever like played like a Final Fantasy or Dragon Quest or something like that, they have job classes. Kind of seems like you have the martial artist, you have the ninja. Um, I guess Setsuna's like swordsman. Kanoko's white mage. you know. So um, it's kind of got that RPG element going on. Uh, so and also we finally got to see Chao's combat prowess as well. Something to be feared. She has this like ability to teleport. It looks like fighters like Setsa and Kaede, who are both pretty strong, can't even touch her. And you kind of have to wonder what Negi will do to like counteract that. Asuna and Takahata Sensei had their date. Um, it happened. I'm just glad that they finally got this storyline kind of done with. And they can just kind of move on from it. It was just kind of there for the longest time, and it's just nice to see it's over. But also nice to see that it's been resolved, like it's been addressed, and has been like you know like something has happened with it uh, as well. So on to volume 16. Volume starts with Negi trying to explain that he has a time machine and Gandolfini Sensei not believing him. Gandolfini Sensei tells him that he won't be able to see his students ever again. Takamichi is then left with Negi in the room. At Evangeline's cabin, they'll plan a way to get Negi out. Chalmo asks Chisame to look for something on the internet. Kaede and Setsuna go outside to face the two teachers and tell them that they are going to fight their way through. One of the teachers, Toko Kuzunoha, who is a swordswoman of the Shinmei school. Um, yeah. They fight, and the teachers get the better of the two, who then surround themselves with a tornado. Teachers get inside the cabin, only to find out that the people inside the cabin are golems of the group, who, as the main group, has like run away. So, Takane shadow figures that she can make. Mei and another student blocked the way of Yue, Nadoka, Kufe, Asuna, Kanoka, Haruna, Chisame, and Chamo. Setsuna and Kaede get out of the tornado and keep the two teachers occupied. Kufe and Asuna fight against Mei, Takane, and the other student. Nadoka uses her artifact on Mei to find Negi's location. Back with Negi, Takamichi tells Negi that he had Chao cornered, but he hesitated for a second, and Mana shot him. Takamichi tells him to watch out for the bullets that Chao and her companions are using, and that it's all over for them if they get a single hit from one of these bullets. Takamichi gets a phone call and leaves, telling Negi that his friends have come to rescue him. At a church, excuse me. At a church, Gandolfini gets drunk while Serohiko Sensei tells him to stop. Asuna and Kufe surprise them and knock them out. They find the entrance to the secret underground path and run down spiral stairs. At the bottom, they are attacked by Orthros, who has this really tiny mage on its back and a griffin. Asuna and Yue run away to a different path where they run into Takahata Sensei, who attacks them. Haruna, Nadoka, and Chisame fight against Orthros and the tiny mage. Kanoka and Kufe fight the griffin. Yue reveals that what her artifact, Orbis Centralia Pictus, does. It's like an encyclopedia of magic. So it's not this like novice level thing. It's actually like something way more potent. Takahata Sensei hurts Asuna with one of his attacks. Haruna uses her artifact to summon Tsurugi no Tan to fight Orthros. He's like this like knight that she made. Yue figures out that Takahata Sensei that they're fighting is an imposter. Yue figures out everything is an illusion and breaks the illusion. The culprit turns out to be a little girl who is the daughter of one of the magical teachers and runs away. They chase after her and they see Takahata Sensei and another teacher in their way. Takahata lets them go past. Negi gets out of his room and the door just barely opens for him. At a desk, his staff, the ring he got from Evangeline, and the Pacto cards are all there. Negi meets up with the rest of the group. Chelmo tells them go to the deepest roots of the world tree. So they're kind of like underground right now. and like it's just big ruins pretty much. At the roots, they shimmer with light but slowly go away. The dragon from like a while back then appears. Back at the cabin, it turns out that the coyote that the teachers were fighting was a decoy. Setsuna uses her Pacto card to teleport to where Negi is. They, Negi and this group keep running and find a giant ruin underneath the academy. At its center is the final glimmer of the World Tree's magic. Coyote then catches up to them. At the center, Negi uses the Cassiopeia to take him and everyone else, except for the dragon, of course, back in time. They appear at the morning of the last day of the festival. Negi passes out and the Cassiopeia cracks. They go to a room in the library and Negi rests on a couch. They discuss a plan to stop Chow. Chow apparently used 2,500 robots to get to the 6 magical hotspots. They deduce that Chow is the spellcaster and that she needs to be somewhere in the open to cast that big of a spell. Chomo plans that a group protect the magical hotspots while another group will find Chow and capture her. Negi gets up and tells him his plan. He mentions that every year the main sponsor of the event is a Yukihiro conglomerate, Ayaka, which is Ayaka's family. Negi says he would involve the general public and impose on the class rep. Negi gets Asuna to talk to the class rep. Chamo and Kanoka talk to the headmaster. Haruna, Yue, and Nodoka handle the flyers, and Chisame to handle any type of internet matters. Negi then falls back onto the couch. So Asuna asks a favor from Ayaka, who refuses. Once Kufei tells her it's Negi asking for the favor, Ayaka agrees. Setsuna and Kanoka tell the headmaster of Chow's plan. He says he'll handle it. Chamo then tells him whatever he has planned won't work and to get him specialized magical equipment. The flyer shown that changes the academy-wide closing event to this Martian robot army versus Academy Defense Magical Knight Corp like game pretty much, or like event. The students who want to participate are given wizard wands or bazooka type weapons to fight against the Martian robot army. The headmaster gathers the magical teachers and students to help with Negi's plans, or the magical students. They start the invasion on the shore of Lake Mahora. The only damage that the robot army can do to civilians so far is a naked ray that strips someone naked. Then the students then officially battle against the robot army. Asuna can't contact Negi with the Pacto card, so they get Kufei to go get Negi. Ayaka and Make tag along with Kufei. Setsuna and Asuna help the students as part of the Hero Unit. The magical teachers and magic students are also part of the Hero Unit. Someone has apparently hacked into the Academy Security's central computer. The Academy barrier now won't last, so huge, like these humongous robots start to invade now. Mana is shown, and she says that it's about time that she joined the battle. Chachamaru is revealed to be the hacker, and cell phones are jammed. In order to fight against Chachamaru, Haruna suggests to Chisame to make a pact with Negi. So Kufei, Ayaka, and Make make it to the library looking for Negi. At the end of the volume, Chisame makes a pact with Negi while he's asleep. Negi wakes up just in time to battle against Chow. So, some thoughts on Volume 16. This volume is all about the start of the heroes counter-attacking Chow. The escape was difficult, but they eventually made it, and they made it back in time. The huge battle between the Mahora students and the Martian robot army is just epic. Honestly, it's pretty epic. I mean, Negi's plan is pretty ingenious. I mean, it really just takes the whole school, in a sense, to defeat someone with like the might of Chow. You know, it's who has all these robots and whatnot at her command, not including her own potent ability. It's cool, and it's just wacky. It's wacky enough. I mean that you have to like suspend your disbelief. I mean, there's like the hero units that are there. They have an excuse to use their power. You know, it's a bit unbelievable that the students don't assume anything in the sense. Like, okay, hey, like magic exists. I mean, look at what these people are doing. I mean, but I, you know, like I guess you kind of have to suspend your disbelief in a sense. I mean, they try to explain it as like, oh, that the UK Hero conglomerate has all this money to do stuff like this, and it's just the certain club is able to make these type of effects or something like that. You know, they kind of explain it that way. Tsusame finally made a pact deal with Negi. We don't know what her artifact is, but I'd assume it has to do something involving computers, the internet, or something like that. She's not a fighter, so um, and so far she's been something of like the internet person. So that's all for today. If you like this, don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you're on YouTube, or follow this channel if you're listening to this on SoundCloud or Podbean. Thank you for listening to these manga reviews. Next week I will review volume 17 through 20 and also read pages 5 to 9 of my horror short story, Shattered Glass. Thank you, and until next time.